Wonderful people, old souls, everyone here who is desiring to be the creator of their experience, welcome. It is the beginning of the day here in Montana, and I just had something coming through my heart that I needed to get on here and share. Okay? One of the worst feelings, and I know many of us are in there right now, it's the feeling of being trapped, right? There's this identity that you know isn't you anymore, but it's challenging to embody the identity of the you that you can intuitively feel into. Right now on the planet, our higher self, the timeline of the greater version of who we are, the true version of who we are, is starting to make itself known. It's starting to whisper in the ear. It's starting to say, this isn't it. And intuitively we feel it. Our perception is expanding, and our inner senses are starting to awaken more and more and more. And the light that's coming in from the sun with the solar winds is bringing in things that are activating our DNA. Okay? But the small self, that sticky old identity of you, it wants to keep itself rooted in the ways things have been. And if you're used to struggle and suffering, and everything's hard and everything feels like you're processing all the time, it's like constant shadow work. That's not spiritual anymore. That's you being tricked by that old identity of you, right? But feeling trapped, I said this in the last video, feeling trapped between Egypt, the land of the oppressed, the old you, and the Red Sea, which is like your neurobiology, right? Your chemistry that is like locked into this version of you. And you'll see terms like quantum leap, reality creation, and it feels cool, right? It's like intuitively we can sense that that's a real thing. We know that with quantum mechanics, like scientifically, that we're swimming in a sea of infinite possibility and infinite timelines and a lot more dimensions than we were ever led to believe, right? So we're in this really incredible dreamlike reality, but yet we're still locked into the subconscious part of us that is like, no, that's not how it is. And it's addicted to looking at the circumstances, and it's like, that's what's true. Even though the circumstances were created by that super limited part of you, right? So that is the game that we're playing, to transcend that right now. When we've got more help than we've ever had, folks, this is the time to do the work. This is the time to stop playing defense. I was thinking about this earlier, and I looked it up. Wow, the defense budget of the U.S. for this fiscal year, 2025, was almost $850 billion. $850 billion that one country is using to defend. And I'm sure it's insane in some of the other big countries too. What is that about? What is that reflecting? What's the mirror showing us with that? Oh yeah, at the unconscious level, we're still operating from that place of defensiveness, avoiding pain, avoiding rejection, avoiding judgment, fitting in, trying to stay safe. That's why I always felt cringy when people say, stay safe out there, right? Of course, during COVID, that was like echoed a million times. And I just would always get this like, ugh, stay safe. There's a million things that could kill us every day. We get into a car, we do all sorts of shit that could end our experience very quickly. We're way more afraid of creating the life that we actually want and bringing our value to the world and going after our dreams and our dharma and doing what we came here to do, right? Putting yourself out there feels way more scary than, getting in your car and going for a drive to the donut shop. Like, that's interesting, right? You get into that car at any point, you could get into an accident that could take you out. Using it as an example here, but we got to stop playing defense, because the old identity of you, all that it does is play defense. It's scanning the environment for threats. It's in survival mode. It's looking for things that could potentially, hurt that identity. For the judgments and the rejections and the people that might not accept you and what will they think. And even if you're someone who doesn't think that that's affecting you, if you're not living in your dharma, if you're not actively creating your dreams and your visions and living that every day, then you for sure got that going on, and it's okay to admit that. That's the first step. You have to see the trap that you've been in, right? Because that old identity of you is very, very sticky and very clever. And it's just, like I've said before, it's either one step ahead of you or one step behind you. Okay, but you as the creator, in this moment right here, what we're all learning is taking back control of our attention, right? And now we're going to put that attention on offense. And offense is active creation. Offense is getting clear on what is it that I would like to create, not from a place of force, not from a place of lack, like I need to create something or I'm going to die, I'm going to run out of money. No. Feel the energy of that, right? When you're trying to force that and you're trying to create from that place, it's not art anymore. It's a bunch of bullshit that's not going to do anything, and people can feel it. It's like you plant a seed with that. What fruits can you expect to get? They're going to suck. They're not going to be, colorful and vibrant and nutritious. Like, no, they're going to be, if they even bear fruit, it's going to be malnourished, malnutritious, if that's a word, right? So this is about going on offense. This is about letting go. Oh, this is such a big thing right now. Let go. And then pay attention to any part of your mind that's like, well, I can't just let it go. It's been 20 years of this. I can't just let it go right now. Yes. Oh, yes, you can. Because all that you are is just right here. But the thought that's coming from is the mind of that identity that you're wanting to escape. That's all that it is. Let's take the gravity and the drama out. That's all that it is. It's the drama mind of the old ego identity that we're letting go of and come into the alignment of truth, which is let go of the attachment to what was. Let go of the things that have happened in your past, the disappointments, the unmet expectations. Let go of the attachment to money. Let go of your age and the story that you have around that and the meaning that you make of it. And you should be a certain place at a certain time. No. There is so many people that have chosen to offload some of their karma and deal with these familial, generational, unresolved aspects early on in their life. They made the choice, and as I did, to really cycle through that, to really transform and purge all of that out. Like, I want to have kids one day, but I made an agreement to myself of, all right, I'm going to deal with all this bullshit now before I do that. And this is a paradigm shift, right? Because the generations before us, they didn't have this awareness. They were operating from a certain level, and that's where they were at and what they inherited. And so they didn't have the space and bought into the American dream. And with all of these people giving life force to that, it's like that became the paradigm. And then, of course, we know now that that's not it, right? That was just a fictitious vision given to us by the mass media, by the control system to shrink you into a little box. And now we're breaking out of that, and that's amazing. But you've got to let go of the ways that you've known yourself to be. You got to let go of all the times that maybe you were let down by other people or let yourself down or abandoned yourself. And now you keep the attention on where things go from here. Everything else literally is irrelevant. All of the circumstances, whatever your bank account says, all of it. you let it go, you exist right here, and now you're going to bring your attention and start to master it on where you would like it to be. One of my favorite lines from a brilliant man named Les Brown, who was one of my favorite motivational speakers back in the day. He said, you have to call forth those things that not yet be as though they were. And that's creation. That's offense, right? If you're just looking out at your circumstances and labeling it and judging it like this is what it is, guys, this isn't the motivational circuit, right? This isn't personal development and growth anymore. This is quantum creation. This is knowing who you actually are, right? This is like coming into the gnosis that you got the pen and you're writing the book page by page. That's literally what's happening at the quantum level. And a part of you knows this. And a part of you, not a part of you, we came here for this. You came here to play offense, to paint on the canvas, which is your life, right? And I'll give you, since I brought up Les Brown, I'll give you a quick, incredible manifestation story, right? I listened to that guy every day for years when I was getting on a packed and miserable commuter rail or the Red Line going into Boston to a job that I hated, and everyone's packed in there like sardines. People are acting like children. That you stepped on my foot, like yelling at each other. It was so nuts. And I had the thought so many times, I'm like, this is my life. But I would listen to Les Brown, and something about the way he spoke, the energy that he carried, it just helped me remember. And I was like, this is not it. I have greatness within me, right? I started to buy into it. I'm like, I have greatness within me, literally. And I want to extend that message to you. You have greatness within you, and I'm not saying that from this like Tony Robbins lens. I'm saying it from the lens of you have the universe inside of you. Okay, that's a big deal. You wake up every morning and there's a blank canvas waiting for you. And it's literally God, source, universe, whatever you call that power that's literally created all this, is all it is doing is asking you the question, how do you want to play today? How would you like to dance? You take a step and I'll take a step. That's the question that appears to us every day on a blank slate. But we get up, we look at our phone, we just pop back into the same movie as the day before. That's why you gotta have intention, especially when you're starting your day. You gotta take space to tune into this truth. You got the pen, you got the blank slate, you've got the universe inside of you that's like, literally, how do you want to dance? I am scanning and reading your electromagnetic field, where you're placing your attention, and that's what I'm assuming is what you desire because your attention's there, right? It's not taking into account this survival aspect. Even though we were designed with that, we're evolving away from that, okay? We've got to pop out of that lens of survival and into playing offense. There's no more defending. No more avoiding. Do the things that you've been avoiding to start to train yourself and show your own body chemistry, that old identity of you, that it's not the controlling force anymore. It's not driving the car. How else can you show it that you're driving the car if you're just taking orders from it? If you're being submissive to the old part of you, if you're being that little bitch that's getting whipped around by that old part of you. If you are, have a good laugh, right? Don't take it too seriously. Just laugh that you were in that illusion for so long. Many of us were. This is a time of freedom. This is a time of creating, being on offense, picking up the pen, and deciding how it is that you want to dance. I think most of us, if we're being honest, have not decided how we would like to dance. We haven't taken into consideration and actually believed that it's possible that you can have things be easy, you can have things be graceful, you can have incredible opportunities every day flooding your reality. You can be surrounded by people that love you and support you. You can be doing work in this world that you love, it doesn't feel like work and you're making good money. You get to have that. That can be your movie. But you have to decide that. You have to be the creator of that. No one's going to do it for you, okay? This is part of the game. And you, as I said at the beginning, you have more support than ever right now, okay? So really what we're coming out of the double-mindedness, right? If you're confused, if you're in a place of lack, if you got fear going on, you're automatically out of the divine mind. You're out of the moment. You're in thought. This is why Jesus said, take no thought for your life. And you got no power from there. You're in the illusion. Okay, you're back in the box. When your thinking is engaged, you're back in the box. And this is why meditation is so imperative right now, because it's going to train your nervous system to stop thinking so much, which is what your old identity used to do. And you're going to be in that reactivity space. Okay? Reactivity is defensiveness, right? There's nothing to defend. You're just here. Here I am. You know, someone tries to assassinate my character. I'm like, well, cool. I'm not that character. You know, I'll take accountability for things that were done in the past when I believed that I was that character, but that's not who I am now, right? So that knowingness helps to let things go and offer forgiveness for yourself and others, right? Right? It's like we can't really say things like we don't want war. We want a peaceful planet, but we're not peaceful within ourselves. We literally have a war against ourselves. We're still in that defensive mode within ourselves. And reality just gives us the mirror of that. This is why it's so important for every individual to do this kind of work, to change their awareness, to come into alignment with themselves, because that's really the only way that peace is going to occur on the planet. You know? This is why shadow work is so imperative right now, because all we're seeing, the things that we don't like to see out there, are just our own unintegrated shadows. And we're all contributing to that, right? So an example of not being defensive and being offensive today would be, hey, here's what I'm up to today. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to smile at people. I'm going to say hello. I'm going to compliment people today. I'm going to be the love that I want to see in the world. Simple, Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world. But to live that, to choose that every day, is an act of revolution. That's the real shift that's going to change things on the planet. With enough people doing that and actually living it and embodying it and choosing that and knowing themselves as the creator and not stuck in an identity that's fractured and wounded and trying to fix itself and thinking other people are separate outside of it. From that place, there's always going to be brutal things on the planet, right? Because yeah, when we're in survival and we feel like an animal backed into a corner, we're capable of terrible things, right? Our thoughts are very toxic from that place when we feel like there's nowhere to go and we feel like we're trapped and there's no hope for the future. There's no greater vision to connect to. You think you're that identity and you're stuck in it. From that place, suicidal thoughts, violence towards others, like it's just irrational and it's wild and feral. And to me, it's like, of course, we still have these terrible things happening on the planet because that's still living inside of us. And to the degree that each of us takes responsibility to deal with that, that's when we'll start really seeing some shifts. So be on offense today. Literally take 5 minutes, do some deep breathing, and just decide. Start to give yourself, this is so important, and this has like been one of my mantras lately. You cannot receive that which you don't first give yourself, right? So give yourself the good feeling of the gnosis of I am the creator of my experience and I'm dancing in a sea of endless possibilities and quantum intelligence all around me that's dancing with me and is living in, as, and through me. Let's make this a love story. Not a fear story. Let's make it a love story. What would my life look like as a love story if life is smiling and laughing at me and loving me, and I'm smiling and loving and laughing back at it? And now you're in the dance. And you're going to go out there and you're going to give the world a smile. You're going to be present with people. You're going to listen to people. You're going to offer generous, compliments, or you're going to help where you can. You're going to uplift the room that you walk into. You're going to be the source of that good energy when you go into the DMV and everyone's negative. You're going to go into the store with your shoulders back and your chest out and in this place of gratitude and then this celebration of aliveness. You get to choose that today. What an amazing thing to bring yourself into awareness of. What a gift that you're now giving yourself, that you get to now receive because you finally have given it to yourself. Right? The gratitude, the amazing opportunity in front of you, like being healthy, having a body to take you from place to place, like all of these different things, an endless capacity to create. And it's not a thinking thing. You can ask this intelligence like, hey, show me how amazing this gets. Show me how amazing this gets. Show me how much fun I can have. Show me how beautiful this reality gets to be. And it will. And it will. And you can just let it go and know that it's done. Everything that you ask in prayer, it is given. And get out of that place of, well, I don't see it. Where is it? Okay? We're clearing out these dense beliefs, these weeds in our garden that blocked us from that. Right? So sometimes the outer world doesn't move instantly. Just keep your attention on the prize. Keep your attention on the things that make you feel good and expand you. That's the game. All right? I wanted to share that to start my day today. I'm all disheveled and I have my hair and my just get out of bed. I'm learning to take that divine inspiration when it hits, because how many times do we get into that same experience of not acting on the inspiration? Oh yeah, I'll do that in like an hour. I'll let me take a shower, let me like get my stuff going, and then I'll record the video. And it's like, then the inspiration's not there. That fire that was roaring is no longer in that place, and you're like, damn it. So we got to act on that. It's powerful to act on that, and it can lead you to really incredible places, and I hope that this landed in the deepest part of your heart. Much love, everyone. I'll see you soon.